That's fine.
Mason fully recovered.
He's still got physical therapy twice a week. He's doing much better.
Okay, good.
It'll be a good ideal next year.
Good deal.
Yeah, much better.
Chairman, let's go.
Yep.
Chairman Wallace,
Yes, sir.
Chairman Hall, Mr. Pro Tem, we
Thank
ready?
you. Oh,
Reconvene.
We're ready.
Go ahead, Chuck.
All right, it's good to have everybody back. Appreciate it. I think our teams have been working over the break on coming up with a OITS number that it's my understanding we have that number now,
Yes, sir.
and we've agreed to it.
Yes, sir. I understand.
Okay, did you, Chairman Wallace?
So for the record, will you say what it is so everybody knows?
The amount going to OIDS would be $138,412.
With that final number, based on where we were at before we left out prior to lunch, I believe that will bring the budget agreement in order and everything's agreed to for FY25. Is that correct?
I believe we're in agreement. Yes, sir.
Any additional discussions? We're skipping the debate. Discussions?
No, I don't have anything to add. I think we have an agreement.
Only other thing I'd add for the media and everybody, we're going to work today to have the portal updated by the end of the day. It will reflect the same numbers as spreadsheets that we're working off of, just in a different format. But that is our intention by the House to have that posted by the end of the day.
Thank you. I agree, and our teams are ready to work and to get that going as well. Mr. Chairman, it's always the time of year when I certainly want to thank you and your team for the work that we put in this. I'm very pleased to have been a part of the new transparency process. I know that right out of the gate, whenever you create something new, that it doesn't always operate perfectly. But I think the citizens and Oklahomans are far better off and have a far better understanding, a clear vision of how a budget comes together than they ever have before. And I certainly want to thank Pro Tem Tree's leadership on budget transparency. The Senate had a process that we followed. We're proud of it, and now we got an agreement, a very public agreement as a result of it. So I want to thank you for your participation in the program.
I would convey the same. The House definitely respects your process. I think it has brought more transparency from the Senate side of the chamber. The House continues to work on the transparent processes that we've always had in place. We have increased transparency with the portal this year as well. Very proud of our staff. I want to thank them for all their hard work and time and effort. To some disbelief, we didn't pay outside of the House to have that done. Our staff put that together. Very proud of the work. As always, your leadership. I've had a switch here halfway through, but I do respect. I would be remiss if I didn't mention. I do appreciate all the work Senator Thompson's done on this on behalf of the Senate and State of Oklahoma as well. I've enjoyed working with him over the years. Enjoying the relationship that we're building now moving forward as well. And I just got to commend the team, and it is a group effort, both House and Senate, and the involvement of the governor as well. And I will state the comment, relationships do matter. I hope everybody can improve on our relationships between the chamber and between the executive. And I just want to commend the leadership of Speaker McCall, being the longest serving speaker in state history, and the way in which he manages and governs the House and allowing us to do our jobs. I'm very thankful to be in the position, the opportunity to represent the House. At this time, I'll turn it over to anybody on the House side that wants to add a comment, or back to Pro Tem Tree.
Yeah, I would like to make a comment if you don't mind. I'm sure Pro Tem and Speaker would like to have a final word. But I agree. I think this budget that we've agreed to is a very good budget. I think all of us at the table can agree. Is everything in it that any of us wanted? No, but it is a really good budget, and I'm excited to go tell all of Oklahoma about the budget that we have for FY25. It is great work. We've had a lot of conversations about process, and I know Senator Courtney and I, we've had several conversations about process, as well as with Chairman Hall and Chairman Wallace about the future, and look forward to continuing to have those conversations about process and what the process looks like moving forward, and look forward to having those conversations. I do want to make one historical note of today. I do think it's appropriate on May 22nd. T. Boone Pickens would be 96 years old today. Would have been his birthday, and we cut the deal at his table for the state of Oklahoma. So I just think it's appropriate to point that out.
Mr. Speaker Pro Tem, Mr. Chairman, before I allow the Pro Tem to make his final comments, and I think you alluded to it, and it was accurate that you did so. We may have a budget deal today, but our staffs, now the work begins. So they'll be working long hours preparing the GA bill and all the limits bills and the JCAP bills. And so there's a ton of behind the work scenes. I just want to commend the staff of both the House and the Senate for the work that you all have in front of you over the next several hours and several days. And so thank you for your commitment to the Oklahoma legislature.
I agree. I want to point out one other thing, and it takes both House and Senate staff. For the public who don't know, the GA bill alternates between chambers every year. It's the Senate's turn this time to write the GA bill. There'll be a ton of limits bills and follow-up bills that tie everything together in direction, but the staff is now fixing to collaborate and work behind the scenes to produce all the bills that will be required. And then I'm sure we're going to talk about the transparency process and the commitment the speaker's made of having 24 hours, but all of that is very important, and it does affect the timeline to have a good quality product in time for each chamber to review and minimize mistakes and just do a better quality of work for the state of Oklahoma as a state and as a whole. And so I'm always passionate about my timeline. Maybe we'll have that discussion again beginning next session. But thank you to the staff, and I am truly honored to work with the members and our staff and yours as well. Very, very talented people for the state of Oklahoma.
Can I bring it? Well, I know we're making closing remarks, but a timeline of the date of the JCAP committee meetings. I know we've had conversations about having our meetings on Monday. What conversations as the Senate had? I do think we need to get that out there in the public of what day we're going to be having our JCAP meetings.
I'd turn that over to our floor leader.
Congratulations. Congratulations, Speaker. Pardon me, Governor. Thank you. I was running things while you were going there.
No, go ahead. You let me sit in the governor's chair. He's been negotiating on your behalf.
You're gonna love the budget.
Welcome, Governor. We were just talking about a little bit of a timeline for the JCAB meetings, and it's been stated by Representative Hilbert that the House is discussing having JCAB starting Monday, but want to see where the Senate's at on that position.
All right, thank you. And I do want to echo, enjoyed conversations with Representative Hilbert on what this can look like next year, how we can build on the progress that we made for transparency. So very much look forward to working with you. And then I believe as soon as the House gets off the floor, Floor Leader Eccles and I have a whole lot of work to do to figure out the timelines, to make sure that everybody's checking the right boxes at the right time. We are, as the Senate, very dedicated to not working on Memorial Day. So I think that we'll probably be trying to front load the work. So my guess would be whatever it is that you guys are going to end up doing on Monday is what we'll be doing on Saturday. And so I think that's the direction we're going. But until the floor leader and I have had a chance to sit down and really coordinate those calendars and make sure that we've got all the timing right, I don't think we can commit to exactly what's going to happen at what moment.
And I will say, Leader McCorney and I have a phenomenal working relationship. We have absolute confidence we'll get this worked out a way that works out. So your chambers can meet when's best for you. We can meet when's best for us, and we'll work this out without a problem. It's a lot of work to be done, but we've negotiated much more complicated.
Turn it over to the three principals, I think.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for your work. I appreciate your leadership and serving the House of Representatives for, goodness, 7 years as our appropriations chair, 8 years on the appropriations team. Pro Tem Hilbert, Speaker Designate Hilbert, thank you for your hard work and all the time that you've put in over the last 8 years to know this state budget inside and out. Mr. Pro Tem, I want to thank you and your team. I have enjoyed the journey very much serving with you over, well, all 12 years I've been in the legislature. You precede me by 2. You're gonna leave with 14 years under your belt. But I've certainly enjoyed working with you the last 6 years that I've been the Speaker and you the President Pro Tem of the Senate. Thank you for being respectful of our processes in the House. I hope we have shown you the same deference, and I appreciate and commend all the senators of the Oklahoma Senate for their hard work in these negotiations. Governor Stitt, thank you for your leadership, and I appreciate both of you as we reach our constitutional deadline, us coming together, being functional, and getting a budget for the people of the state of Oklahoma. I too am happy with the product that has come from these deliberations, and from our fellow Oklahomans and friends in the media here today. Thank you for the time that you put in to cover this, and I hope, you know, I can't wait to get your feedback on what you think about how this process really works, and I hope you've enjoyed being in the meeting and seeing firsthand how things come together, and the ebbs and flows, and the communication and the process between the House and the Senate and the governor through the executive branch. And that is what the framers of our Constitution set up. And it's not set up to be easy. And but it's there's 101 members of the House of Representatives that we are responsible to answer to on this budget. And thank you to them and the two other, both principals. I've enjoyed working with you, and I am glad to have finished my final budget in the Oklahoma legislature.
As am I. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Appreciate your comments. Appreciate your team. Friction is a good thing. It's a ugly process at times. People got to see all the warts and everything this year, but friction drives a much better product. And so as people have seen the friction between the Senate, the House, the governor, that is just the workings of government, the way it was set up, where we have shown disrespect. That is not intended. It's intended to try to represent our independent chambers. Governor, I appreciate you coming in this morning with a very reasonable, thoughtful, and good proposal. Mr. Speaker, I appreciate having worked with you even when I was floor leader and we were going through much more difficult times.
Yes, sir.
I think that we can all say that are leaving this building this year that we have left it much better than we found it. I think this is a budget that we can all be proud of. We didn't get everything we wanted, but that's the way the process works. And I think you and I can leave this building heads held high that we achieved the best we could possibly do, and we're good stewards of the taxpayers' dollars while we were here. So to Senator Hall, thank you for coming in toward the end here. I know you were in the room before. I want to echo what you said about Senator Thompson. Senator Thompson remains a good friend of mine, and he has put 6 beautiful and good years into the process. The change that was necessary ended up being good. It worked out to this conclusion here, but that is no disrespect to Roger Thompson, a very good man, a good statesman in Oklahoma. thank you to Leader McCourtney and Representative Hilbert for hopefully improving the process next year even. I want to give you thanks and gratitude at first, and Senator Racino for coming in to the table for really the first time. You've done an amazing job. So I appreciate all of you across the table. I appreciate all on this side of the table. And Governor, thank you for coming in and helping us button it up today.
I can see why y'all took the microphone away from McBride here. Sliding it back to this end of the table. Well, man, I mean, listen, I'm going to miss you guys for 6 years. I don't think there's ever been a governor, a pro tem, and a speaker that have worked together, and it's all I've known. So next year, looking forward to working with you and you, Speaker-elect, right? Speaker-elect Hilbert and McCourtney. It's going to be fun to get this done. This is my 6th session, so 6th budget. And in 2019, we were downstairs, if you remember, in that one conference room. We took a selfie, so the 3 of us got to take another.
Man, we hugged it out.
We did. But I appreciate your comments. This is the way the process is supposed to work, and we all can adjourn for the session, and we're all friends and fellow Oklahomans. And thank you for your service to the state, pro tem and speaker. And you guys, I'm going to miss you guys, and so. Don't be strangers when we're here in May next year. We need your advice. You may be the calming influence on the seventh budget next year. So it's good. I'm glad we landed the plane, and glad this process worked, and Oklahoma saw exactly how it works. So very, very transparent process. I appreciate you guys leading on that. So excited. Thank you.
Pro Tem.
Not in agreement.
We have a deal.
Like here, no fingers crossed.
You?
Summarize.
Thank you. Good work.
We're speaking.
Okay. Yeah, we got them.